shot, now heaven knows anything goes.
Wait, hold on. Anything goes? Isn't that what's been happening in America for some time now? I think more and more Americans are waking up to this absurdity, and it shows by the overwhelming response we're getting with new volunteers. We hear and see you believe COS is the solution, as big as the problem. So thank you, and let's keep growing this grassroots army. Our vision is to build a strong, engaged army of self-governing activists, and our mission statement is to restore self-governance by recruiting, training, and deploying citizen activists to engage in all levels of government. So, if you've had enough of anything goes, join us every Monday at 7 p.m. as our state director and host, Dale Parrish, will show you how we can actually make a difference by using the Constitution to save the Constitution and our country. So join us now for Indiana Live.
Well, thank you, Maringo Mike, and welcome everyone to COS Indiana Live. Yes, I'm Dale Parrish. I am the state director for Convention of States here in Indiana. And again, I want to welcome you this evening. First of all, I want to let you know we've had another schedule change. That just seems to be the thing that happens with us every week here, it seems. But tonight, our intention was, the original schedule was to have our super volunteer Debbie Stewart on to give us a civics lesson tonight. But Debbie got sick, has not been feeling well, so Debbie could not appear this evening. But it so happens that this past weekend we had an event here in Convention of States here in Indiana called our strategy meeting. This is a meeting that we have once a year, and we took the opportunity at our strategy meeting just this past Saturday to present a very, very high award within COS. And that award went to our own Mr. John Aukerman. So I've arranged for John to be on our program tonight. And so when we get into the first segment, I'm going to bring John up and we're going to talk about him receiving that award and what it all means. And so I'm sure you're going to enjoy that. So we'll be getting into that a little bit more here very, very shortly. But first of all, I want to tell you, let you know, our roundtable meeting that we held on August 23rd. And just to refresh your memory now, every fourth Monday of each month, we devote that entirely to what we call a roundtable meeting. Format is kind of similar to what we do on Monday evenings here otherwise, but it's expanded and larger. Covers more time, and we go about an hour on the roundtable meeting. So we've got our last one was August 23rd. Great success. Thank you for supporting that. Our next one coming up is next Monday, September 27th, 7 p.m. It's a regularly scheduled COS Indiana Live broadcast. It's just that it's a roundtable meeting, the fourth Monday of every month. Now, on this roundtable meeting on the 27th, our main guest in the first segment of this roundtable meeting is an interview that we have conducted with Senator Mike Braun. So that's going to be a recorded interview, and we're going to be doing that this week, as a matter of fact. So we're going to be presenting that recording on our roundtable meeting on the 27th. So hope you can join us on the 27th for our next roundtable meeting. Now, also want to once again remind you that this broadcast is coming to you mainly through our state Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana. But we're also live streaming the broadcast through our YouTube channel, COS Indiana. So there's an alternative way to view this broadcast, and that's our YouTube channel. COS Indiana. Now, while you're at that YouTube channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can be notified then of any of the additions or changes that we post to the YouTube channel. Also want to mention that the audio portion of our broadcasts are available in the form of a podcast, COS Indiana Live Podcast. This is something we started a few months ago. So this is available to you in the form of a podcast. Now, in order to find that podcast, you need to go to anchor.fm/Dale-Parish and the number 8. That's anchor.fm/Dale-Parish and the number 8. And there you will find the podcast that is an offshoot of our Monday evening broadcast. Well, let's just quickly kind of talk a little bit about the segments of tonight's broadcast and what you can expect. So in the first segment, which we call the interview segment, as I mentioned earlier, tonight we have John Aukerman with us. And John is the recipient this past weekend, the recipient of what we call a Challenge Coin Award. And we're going to be telling you about that as we get into this segment, and we're talking with John. We'll tell you how much of a meaningful award that is, and I think you'll understand after we talk with John why he was awarded this award. So I think you'll understand. So that'll be in the first segment. Second segment is what I call the information segment. This is where I bring up the PowerPoint and we talk about what we're trying to accomplish here in Indiana, what our objectives are, and how we're performing, how we're doing in reaching those objectives. Now, just want to let you know that in this segment that these are 2021 objectives that we're still trying and still working toward accomplishing. The meeting that we conducted this past weekend, Saturday, was a strategy meeting for 2022. And at that meeting, we started the process of identifying objectives that we wanted to set for ourselves in 2022. And in upcoming broadcasts, then I'll be sharing those with you as we close out 2021. So it was a very good meeting, by the way. And folks, we have made a great deal of progress here in the state of Indiana and nationally as far as that's concerned. But we've made a great progress here in the state of Indiana, looking very, very forward to 2022. Just tell you right now, we kind of gave the 2022 strategy meeting the title of the Year of the Region Captain. And it's because we're really, one of the things that we've accomplished a great deal in 2021, and that is getting region captains in place. So you'll hear more about this, but we're so happy to get people in these positions. And so we're looking toward 2022 as a tremendous growth year and a year where the region captains are really going to come into play. So just a little heads up on what you can expect in future broadcasts. So that'll be in segment 2. Now in segment 3, I recognize any viewer comments that we might have. So if there are some comments, if you're viewing either through the Facebook page or YouTube channel, feel free to submit a comment or a question. We'll try our best to get them on here and deal with those. Now, in the fourth segment, This is the segment. This is called Contributors. And this is where we have individuals that are COS Live contributors. And as a matter of fact, John Aukerman's one of them. His contributions are in the category, are under the title of John's Journal. And I'm going to have one of those tonight for you. So, John, you'll see John has wore a lot of hats and still does. So we're going to have a contribution from John tonight in the contributors segment. And now in the final segment, this is what I call the invitation segment. And this is in fact where we kind of wrap things up, and then I invite you to join Convention of States, and I tell you how to go about doing that. And we, of course, give you a little bit more information as to what Convention of States is all about. So that'll be in the final segment, in the invitation segment. Well, I'll tell you what, it's time now to bring on John, and let's get him up here, and let's talk about this great award that he received over this past weekend. So, hello, John.
Yeah, hi, Dale.
John, glad to have you here this evening, and once again, congratulations on the award that you got. Let me put it up here just exactly what that is. It's called the Challenge Coin Award, and this is a very, very, as I said, this is a very high award, an individual award. As far as I know, in Convention of States, it's the highest individual award that one can receive. So, yep, John, we gave that to John this past Saturday. So we'll be getting more into that here very, very shortly as we continue to talk to John. First of all, John, as with everyone that I bring on that's part of our leadership group, I always ask you to tell your COS story. Not your life story, but the how, when, where you got involved in Convention of States. So tell us, John, what's your COS story?
Happy to do this. All my adult life, I have had a growing concern about things like federal spending, just always deficit upon deficit, and the national debt, growing by trillions of dollars. That and federal overreach. I remember the Waters of the USA rule where, a farmer couldn't have a pond on the farm without federal government approval. That's ridiculous. Things like that. And then the fact that once a senator or representative gets elected, it's almost impossible to unelect them because of the money and the corruption that creeps in. And so I've always been interested in term limits, and I just didn't see any solution. I just thought the country was going to continue to go down. And I remember from world history, the average life of the great republics in this world has been about 200 years. And Dale, you and I are both old enough to remember the bicentennial of the United States.
Oh, yeah. When
we turned 200 years old. And so I thought, well, maybe this one is just going to wind down and disappear like, Rome did, and, all the others. They've all disappeared. They're all gone,
Right.
And right now, ours is the longest in force written constitution in the world. Can it last? But I didn't see any answers until about May or June of 2014. I suppose I saw a Facebook post. I don't really remember, but I suppose it was that, promoting Convention of States. And so I clicked and I looked into it, and I did a little due diligence. It's always presumptuous to say I did my due diligence, because there's always more you can do. But I did some. I checked it out. And the more I dug into it, the more I said, this is the real deal. these people, and you know, it was Michael Ferris and Mark Meckler who started the whole thing.
Right.
These people know what they're talking about. You know, they are attorneys and they're constitutional lawyers and scholars, and they know what they're talking about. And maybe the Article 5 convention can hold the answer. And I like the slogan, you know, the solution that's as big as the problem.
Right.
So that's how I got involved. I signed the petition, which we talk about a lot, you know, and it was within a few weeks that your predecessor, former state director Diane Gomez, called me up and said, "Would I like to become a district captain?" And I said, "I don't know, sure." And so I jumped in.
She did the same thing to me, as a matter.
Well, okay, you better beware of Diane.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's when I really got involved. And then I helped, you know, we tried to get the resolution passed in the 2015 General Assembly in Indianapolis. And, we fell short. But then we regrouped and figured out what we did wrong and what we needed to do right. And we started that summer of 2015, meeting with legislators, doing the groundwork, preparing the soil, and nurturing contacts with movers and shakers in the General Assembly. And you know the story, how we were just wildly successful in the 2016 Assembly, and we were state number 6.
That's right.
There's 15 states now. We're on our way to 34.
Right.
But we were number 6. We were on the leading edge of this revolution of we the people standing up and taking the reins back from Washington.
I had forgotten you were very much involved in getting the resolution passed, weren't you?
Well, there were others who were much more involved.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you were on board for that event. See that.
Yep.
I was just coming on. I was just coming on at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I was down at the State House. You know, we had legislative blitzes and things like that. And
right.
I couldn't be there for the votes in the Senate and the House, but I watched them on. They're all streaming live, so I watched it from home, and I watched that thing pass. And man, it was a yes. We did it.
Oh yeah, it was big. It was a big day. Big day.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, John. Thanks. Well, let's talk about a little bit more about the award itself. It's called the Challenge Coin Award, and I know you've got your coin there, but let me bring up a picture of it here on the PowerPoint, and it's a lapel pin, and this is the front and back of it. And of course, it features George Mason. You got it right there in your hand. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There it is. Features George Mason on the back.
Yeah.
You got a nice certificate along with it, right? A frameable certificate.
Yes. It's sitting right here.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Proud of that. Thanks for giving me that.
Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. Now, let me point out here that John joins a kind of a select group of individuals in Indiana that have also received this coin and this award. And there are 2, 4, 6, 7, and John is the 8th individual to receive the award here in the state of Indiana. So kind of a select group there, John, that you're part of, right?
Yeah. I know all 7 of those people, and five of them are still active in Convention of States. And in Indiana, the other 2 have moved on to greater things. They're still around, but they're doing other things.
Yep.
But Jack Dirth and Diane Gomez, they were there at the very beginning.
Very much. Jack Dirth played a major role in getting the resolution passed.
Yeah.
And of course, so did Diane. Diane was the former state director. Played a big role in getting the resolution passed. Okay, well let's talk about then that. Let me get back to the screen I wanted to. There we go. this is the highest award, individual award that one can receive in the Convention of States, and the award is limited to 300 individuals, right? So only 300 individuals in Convention of States will receive this award. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, we have over 5 million supporters in Convention of States now. So this is a very select group of individuals being given this award. So 300, and John, you're number 212, right?
That's a number I will commit to memory. I'm number 212.
Number 212. And you know what? It just dawned on me. We're only given, Convention of States is only given 300 of these. I think we got a few more people that are deserving of this award here in Indiana. So
yeah, I could name 3 or 4 of them right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I bet you could. And so I need to get busy and get some more nominations going on here before we run out of awards to give. Because I've been told ever since I started this that there would be no more than 300 given out. So anyway, I was happy to nominate you, John. I wanted to get you in there for sure. So let's talk about, John. We've discovered here what the award stands for and what it means. What does it mean to you?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is that, as I said Saturday when you presented it to me, I really don't feel like I deserve this.
I've heard you say that. I've heard you say that.
Well, you know, I've worn a variety of hats in Convention of States, Indiana. I've done a number of things. Some of them I think I did fairly well. Others, you know, like one time I was a region captain, you know, and that lasted about 6 weeks, I think. and I don't think I got much accomplished there. But what it means to me is that you and others have paid attention to the volunteers, and this is an all volunteer organization.
That's right.
You know, I guess some of the people on the national staff are paid, but I don't know who and I don't know what they're paid. But in the 50 states, they're all volunteers.
Right.
And it says to me that somebody's paying attention to the volunteers. And I know from my own work in nonprofits for almost 40 years now, that the care and feeding of your volunteers is crucial. And so the fact that somebody's paying attention, and then, you know, I'm one of only 300 who are ever going to be recognized with the challenge coin out of, you know, 5 million supporters. I can't do the percentage, but it's a very small percentage. And so it's humbling, and it means a lot to me that you nominated me, but somebody on the national level had to vote on it or make the approval or something. So
that's right.
It means a lot.
That's right.
That what little bit I did is so appreciated.
All right. Well, very, very good, John. You're very, very deserving. Well, let's talk a little bit about the leadership roles that you've held. In my opinion, that's one of the basic requirements for an individual to receive this award, especially those of us that have been on board since the early days. We've all had to serve in various roles. That was just kind of part of what was expected of everyone. We had to in order to do that. So yeah. I know you started. Of course, you started out as a supporter, just like everybody else, right?
Yeah. Petition signer. Yeah.
Yep. That's where everybody starts, and that's an important step. Then you were asked to become a district captain, right?
Right.
And let me make sure I got this right. Then you were asked to become a region captain.
Correct.
Right. Now, you've also served in other roles as you played a major role in developing our state Facebook page.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I was there at the beginning, and I helped to promote it for quite a while.
I mean, when I can tell you stories about this, folks, but when I followed Diane Gomez as state director, we had no idea what the state Facebook page was about. We had no idea, and didn't know what it was on it or how to put anything on it. And I came across John one time, and you had actually administered another Facebook page for another organization. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, more than one, but nonprofit. Yeah.
So, boy, that just I thought, John, you got to help us here, and so we were able to utilize John's experience with Facebook pages as an administrator of our Facebook page, and really helped develop it. He's served as a media liaison. I wish we had time to talk about each one of these, but we don't. He's volunteered to help on the follow-up tool, social media warrior, a COS Indiana Live contributor. I just mentioned that. And we're going to hear one of his contributions tonight. And currently he is serving as Master of Ceremonies for our roundtable meeting, which is every fourth Monday of the month, and coming up next Monday, the 27th.
Yep.
So John just continues to contribute. So,
well, the roundtable thing is a lot of fun, and you know what, Dale? Something else just popped into my mind.
Oh yeah, did we miss one?
Well, yeah. The strategy meeting last Saturday happened to be in the city where I live, and I made arrangements for the meeting room, and I acted as host. So
that's right.
Pat me on the back for that, man.
You deserve that. That's right. And you know what, John? There's another one I just thought of. Didn't you head up a committee on developing a proposed amendments?
Well, yeah. There was a short-lived thing. We finally stopped it for a lot of reasons, but we did have a group that had started work on suggesting some proposed amendments to the Constitution.
Okay.
But we felt, I guess the major reason, along with a lot of others, we terminated that was that the Indiana legislature might feel like we were treading on their territory a little bit by suggesting anything. So that was, yeah, we did that for a little, you know.
That's what's kind of
we had 2 or 3 meetings.
Post resolution activity that we thought would be a good thing to do. Okay. All right.
We called it the Indiana Plan.
All right. If we had more time, we probably could think of some other roles that you've served in that we're still not thinking of. But folks, this is why individuals like John deserve this award, because of all the things that they've done and continue to do for Convention of States. Now, John, the last topic that I wanted to get into was self-governance, and I wanted to identify for everyone some of the other activities outside of Convention of States that you're involved in, and this falls into the category of what we call self-governance. So, just briefly, some of those things, John.
Oh yeah, well, quite separate, but happening at about the same time I got involved with Convention of States. I started to learn about the political processes in local and state government. And there were 2 occasions I can think of, maybe there was a third, but I know there were at least 2 times that I drove to the State House in Indianapolis and testified. Once in front of a Senate committee, and that was kind of cool because they were expecting a big attendance, so they held it in the Senate chambers, you know, and I got 2 minutes, you know, to talk to our state senators about the issue and tell them, you know, what I felt about it. And the other one was the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. You know, they were They were wanting to add a gender X to the state driver's license.
Yeah, I saw that.
And a whole bunch of us went down there and we testified to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles against that. They went ahead and proposed it, but the state attorney general found it to be out of order or unconstitutional or something. So, and that was when Curtis Hill was our attorney general. So he nixed it.
Okay.
You know, he killed it. But not only that, but in recent years, I have begun attending my county council meetings, which are once a month, and the county councils in Indiana control the spending. There are, I suppose it's the same in every county, but in my county, there are 7 counselors, and they get to approve spending requests and set the budget for the following year. And also, I've been attending not all the meetings, but some of the meetings of our county commission. There are 3 commissioners, and they are kind of like the administrators. They do the hiring and the firing and pass ordinances and things like that. But I've become acquainted with all of these people. These are your local lawmakers, so to speak. And I've become acquainted with them. I know all of them. And it's one way to assert self-governance. You know, get to know your local lawmakers. And by law, these are public meetings. Anybody can go. Mm-hmm. And they have to advertise it, publicize it. And anybody can look on the county government webpage and find out when and where these meetings are held and start attending and get to know these people. And then you can start to have a voice and influence in what the local regulations are.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And recently in the 2020 election, you served as a precinct committeeman, right?
Oh, yeah. In about February of 2020, I went down to the courthouse and I filed for precinct committeeman in my political party. And 2 years from now, people in the other party can file because these alternate every 2 years. But I won quite handily. There was another person who filed, but I won by about a 2-to-1 margin. So they would call that a landslide, you know, on the network news. But I won quite handily, and that means that I was, for my party, I was the precinct committeeman, which, you know, the main thing there is getting out the vote. And I did walk my precinct. I got a walking list, and I went to, there were over 900 voters in my precinct for my party. And I went to every one of their doors last October, about a month before the meeting. Because of COVID and so on, I didn't knock on the door and stand face to face with anybody. But I did put, you know, get out the vote information in a clear plastic bag that had a little hole punched in the top of it, and I hung that on their doorknobs. Okay. And so that was good exercise, and I got to see where my voters live. I call them my voters because I'm their servant. I'm not, I don't own them or anything, but it was a great experience. I enjoyed it.
Well, folks, that's called self-governance. That's more reasons why John was very deserving of this award. Well, John, we've gone over our time limit here.
We have. I talk too much.
You know, we wondered if we had enough to talk about here in this segment, but
never ask a retired professor a question because he will filibuster.
Well, John, I want to look at some comments here. I know I had some here.
Oh no, did I get some comments?
Yeah, Judy.
Hi, Judy Doucette. I know Judy.
Do you know Judy?
Yeah, she lives in my city. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Congratulations,
Judy.
John. Here's Dale Tipton, another one of our region captains. John is a great asset to COS Indiana. His being honored in this way is well deserved.
Well, thank you, Dale Tipton. It was good to see you Saturday morning.
Well, here
for a few minutes.
Here's Judy again. You got a real fan here. John has been such a positive influence for a long time. He's incredible. All right, John.
Okay, Judy, the check is in the mail. Thank you.
You better send her and she's even said hi, John. She's even taken the time to say hi to you. So
okay.
All right. Well, John, that's it for this evening. And I want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing this with us. And once again, congratulations on the award. It's well deserved. Well deserved. So
thanks a lot, and been good being with you for a few minutes.
All right, John. Thank you. I got to get that self-governance off the screen. There we go. There we go.
Now you got to get me off your screen.
Now I got to get you off. John, have a good evening. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks again for coming on.
You betcha. Bye.
Bye. John Aukerman, folks. Very, very, very good. Very happy to have John on our team here in Indiana. So I want to now get into the next segment. We've run over a bit on the first segment, so we'll kind of maybe shave some some things off here in this segment. But this is the information segment. I want to tell you some things about what we're doing here in Indiana, give you an idea of what we're trying to do. Now, our vision here in Indiana is the same as our national vision statement, and that's to build a strong, engaged army of self-governing activists here in Indiana. Our mission statement here in Indiana is to restore self-governance by recruiting, training, and deploying citizen activists to engage in all levels of government. So that's our mission statement here in Indiana. Now, these are the mission objectives that we have been trying to accomplish here in 2021. I won't go into detail on these. And these are going to change somewhat because in our strategy meeting that we just held last Saturday, we've identified some new strategies. Some are kind of offshoots of what we've been trying to accomplish here in 2021, but then we have some other new ones. And I'll be going over those too in upcoming broadcasts. But, we basically wanted to grow the supporters. We wanted to get more region captains in place. We wanted to develop call to action program on legislative education. So those were all objectives that we had set forth to accomplish here in Indiana in 2021. I always like to take time to identify for everyone the many resources that we have available to us here in Indiana, as well as nationally. The main one being our website, conventionofstates.com. That's where if you want to get interested, if you're interested in Convention of States and you want to become a supporter, learn more about it, this is the first step. Go to this national website, conventionofstates.com. Now, embedded in that, in the national website is our state page, conventionofstates.com/Indiana. We've mentioned we have a Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana, YouTube channel, COS Indiana. We also share recordings of our broadcasts on Parler, Rumble, Twitter, LinkedIn, and a few other platforms. Our state newsletter. This is just a great publication that we put out monthly. If you're a supporter, you have to be a supporter. Well, if you're a supporter and you've opted to receive emails, you'll get this in your email each month. If not, you can find it on our state Facebook page. And we're also sharing it on some other platforms as well. So that state newsletter is out there for people to see. It sure is. Podcasts, we've got two, the Free to Be Free podcast, and as I mentioned, the COS Indiana live podcast. Upcoming events, I'm not even sure that I've been able to identify all of them on here. We quite honestly, we're very, very happy that we have enough people involved here that we're creating and getting more involved in upcoming events. So the main one that I want to call to your attention, of course, is our roundtable meeting, which is coming up on the next Monday on the 27th. So that's about what I have for upcoming events. Now, our next broadcast, of course, is the 27th, next Monday. And that will be the roundtable meeting. So that's what's coming up next Monday. And next segment here is the viewer comments. I think we've covered all the comments that we had when John was on. So we won't have anything further to say with regard to that particular segment. So let's go on then to the contributor segment. And in this segment, we have another contribution from John Aukerman. And this is, we call his contributions are under the shell of John's journal. So let me bring that up for you and play John's contribution for this evening.
John Aukerman again for Convention of States, Indiana. These are difficult times. There's great division in our country, in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our churches. Division everywhere. You have your truth and somebody else has their truth. Why can't we come together and reason together and find the truth? Maybe because we're so polarized and so afraid of conflict that we would just rather lob bombs at each other, verbal bombs, rather than having a meeting of the minds. One of the founding fathers of our great republic, Thomas Jefferson, who was instrumental, almost single-handedly wrote the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson said, "Difference of opinion leads to inquiry, and inquiry leads to truth." Man, those words ring true today. When you have your opinion and I have my opinion, the differences come together, and if we trust each other and respect each other enough, that difference leads to inquiry, and we start digging into the facts, and we rip off the layers like peeling an onion, and we get down to the core, and that inquiry leads to truth. May all sides in our current divisive climate start to believe this and start to practice it and talk to each other, better yet, listen to each other and inquire together and find truth together.
All right, John, thank you for that contribution. I always enjoy John's contributions, and he loves doing this. He sent me a ton of them. I have quite a library of contributions from John's journal, so I don't think I'm going to run out anytime soon, but that's fine with me. Fine with me. Well, let's get into the final segment here, and this is the invitation segment. And I'm going to bring up another video for you here to introduce this segment, and then I'll come on and we'll wrap it up here. So I'm going to bring up another video for you. Thank you.
Article 5 of the United States Constitution gives we the people the power to put the federal government back in its constitutional box and expand liberty for all. Once 2/3 of the states pass similar applications, a convention of states will be called, and there is nothing the federal government can do to stop it. This isn't a red movement or a blue movement. It's an American movement based on one fundamental question: who decides? Who should decide the issues that affect your community? Washington, D.C., or you? The Convention of States Action Resolution applies for an Article 5 convention that would propose constitutional reforms limited to 3 topics. First, fiscal restraints on the federal government. With over $140 trillion in unfunded liabilities, we need a balanced budget. But our resolution also allows for caps on federal spending and taxation. The second topic is limiting the power and jurisdiction of the federal government. The Supreme Court has authorized the feds to have control over almost every aspect of our lives. The COS Action Resolution empowers us to restore the Constitution to its original intent and return power to the states and the people. Finally, term limits. Thanks to a corrupt ruling class in Washington, trust in the federal government is at an all-time low. That's why our resolution gives Convention of States commissioners the power to send the career politicians packing, including the judiciary and other federal officials. So what can you do? First of all, sign the petition at cosaction.com and get as many of your friends and family to do the same. With your full address, your state legislators will know that you really are their constituents in their district. Call, email, or request a meeting with your state legislators to ask them to co-sponsor the COS resolution in their state. Get plugged in with your local Convention of States team so you can stay engaged, educate others, and respond to national calls to action. Our success depends on you, so we're inviting you to be part of history. Let's invoke the constitutional solution that's as big as the problem.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. That video really, I think, sums up very well what we're all about. And it's Article 5 of the Constitution, and it's calling for a convention of states. See, Article 5 describes the way the Constitution can be amended. And of course, there are two methods. First method is where Congress proposes amendments to the Constitution. That's the method that's been used to date. But there is a second method, and that second method is calling a convention of states for the purpose of proposing amendments. And 34 states have to make that call. We've got 15 that have made the call so far. And yes, Indiana's one of them. We were number 6 of that 15. So we need to get to 34 in order for this to happen. And once it happens, then any proposed amendments that come out of that convention, just like in option 1, have to be ratified by 38 state legislatures across the country. 3/4 of the states have to ratify any proposed amendment in order for the amendment to become part of the actual amendment to the Constitution. And as stated in the video, this convention will address the national debt, federal overreach, and term limits. Those are the 3 areas that the convention will be focused upon and deal with. So that's basically, folks, that's what we're all about. Now, I want to invite you now to join us and become a part of Convention of States. And I wanted to put this up here. The very first step for you to do is go to our national website, conventionofstates.com. And that's where you sign up to become a supporter and you sign the petition. If you have time and want to get more involved, believe me, being a supporter is very, very important. But if you want to go further and if you want to get involved more so in Convention of States, then I would encourage you to click on the menu selection at the top of the website, Take Action. Go to that page and scroll down to where it says Become a Leader. And take a look at the different leadership opportunities that we have. If the one's of interest to you, open it up, read about it. And if you're really interested in it, go ahead and make application. Don't worry, you're not obligated in any way. But what that does then, your name comes up on a report, and one of us then will be contacting you to discuss that more with you. Now, keep in mind, some of these positions require very little time. Other positions require much more time. So you're the only one that can make that judgment as to how much time you have to devote to Convention of States. These are all volunteer positions, and you know what's involved if you've ever belonged to an organization, an all volunteer organization. So go to the website, become a supporter. If you want to get more involved, take action, and look at the various leadership opportunities that we have available here in the state of Indiana. The main thing that I want to leave you with is this thought, folks. This is going to make history. When we bring this about, which we will, and it is going to happen, a Convention of States for the purpose of proposing amendments to the Constitution. We're going to be making history. An Article 5 Convention of States has never been done before. So this will be the first. So why don't you join us and get involved in making this happen? It is, you've heard us say it's the solution as big as the problem, and I do so much believe that is very, very true. So with that, folks, I know we went a little bit over our time limit tonight, but hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Look forward to seeing you next Monday evening on our COS Indiana Live Roundtable meeting. So with that, I'll say good night. Everyone, have a good night. Thank you very much.